Alright, welcome to another one of my Minecraft videos. Today we're going over a Germanic government building, and before I start out, I'd like to say that this video does contain content that may be offensive to some viewers. This is a World War II Germanic themed map, and so there's going to be some swastikas which some may find offensive. I am not affiliated with the NSDAP in any way, nor do I condone anything that it did. However, this world is just themed around that. And so yeah, without further ado, we will move on to here. So this is the exterior of the government building. I'm just going to call it the Reichstag from now on, since it has absolutely no resemblance of the actual Reichstag. However, I see it a bit more fitting, just for the name's sake. But for this ginormous dome, so I have Eagle there with the, obviously had to work within my Minecraft constraints. Sorry for the mic, my mic is trash, so it will frequently cut out like that. But that is the ceiling of the domed area for the beginning of my government building here, and then this is the floor. The landscaping is not complete. The landscaping is going to eventually probably have some bunch of flower beds and whatnot in this area. I kind of did the bushes to outline, so but other than that, the flowers still need to be added in, so might come back at a later point and add flowers in, but currently this is what it's at. And so this is kind of the dome. Everything here was done by hand, and it was, luckily for me, I figured out command blocks were a thing when I was already about halfway through this side, so that helped a lot in obviously doing a direct copy and paste over. So this was the very first building I used command blocks in. All these other builds that I've showed in previous videos, from the church to the village, were all hand done with absolutely no copy and paste or command blocks, versus this. I started building off without command blocks, so like this whole center section was done entirely by hand without copy and paste. It was a real pain in the butt, but luckily figured out luckily command blocks became a thing when I was working on this, but I still had to do all of this by hand, doing left and right side. It was not fun, but the end result made it look very, very nice. So I'll just kind of go around here. The upper floors are not furnished at all. I was going to do the inside upper floors, but with the dome roof or ceiling, turned out to be took up a lot more room than I expected, so I just left it as is for this. And each side is just a direct mirror. This is kind of the little peaks there, with the Weimar Republic flags up on top. And I'll go around here. Doing these window frames took me a while. I had them overly complicated, all of them, in some way, shape, or form, similar to the center one, and then decided it was way too complex, and so I simplified it to what it is there, which is a lot better than what it was. However, I did leave the center ones a bit more complex, as it was fairly fitting. So that's another thing with all my Germanic builds, is obviously I overly complicate everything, and that's just kind of part of one of my personality, and two, it just looks a lot better than a lot of the plain builds that other people do. And then here is the back end. This is kind of the parade ground that is on the back side, although arguably front side, since this is a lot better and all the landscaping is done. But so this here made ginormous eagles into the windows. That turned out really nice. Trying to get it all fit in properly was a bit interesting, to say the least. But Then also when doing this centerpiece, since this was all done by hand, since this center portion was before I figured out command blocks, there was a portion that I did on the inside that I'll show in a little bit here that I did, and then realized that it was going to be way too small, and so everything around here was added around it, and I will show that here momentarily. But this is kind of the exterior way. I have a tunnel going there. I'll show that off in a separate video with some other stuff that's over that way as well. But for this video, I think it's also appropriate that I get an actual character here. So have a podium speaking out to the parade grounds. Again, do not condone anything that the NSDAP did, otherwise known as the Nazi Party. I just liked a lot of their colors, their designs, everything they did was decent looking. They had fashion designer design their uniforms and whatnot, and just all the colors and everything go really well together. So that's kind of why it's that. Obviously, this is still a work in progress, so you'll notice that the flags here are blowing in two separate directions. Still working on getting everything set up here, but this is what I have so far for that. Kind of show this a bit above more. Sorry if the mic's buzzing. Again, my mic is crap. But, alright, I believe that should be enough of the exterior. So now we will go on the interior and show that. So come in here. This is the interior, the grand hall. So these would be, each wing would be its own rally area. So on the ceiling, you have all that ornate stuff. And obviously I try to stick with the Germanic colors of both the Weimar Republic and the modern day, although I believe that modern day color flag goes back to the mid 1800s. I have to look it up again on the exact years, but it's another podium area for me to speak out to my people. Not much to here. Obviously try to use the eagle wherever I could, where I saw fit. And then this here was the portion that was going to be the edge of that centerpiece that I did initially, but realized it's going to be too small. So that's why this big ginormous arc or circle is randomly here in the middle. So I kind of built a design around it where you'd come in here, come in around. You have some artwork here on the wall as well. And then this would come around here and was going to be downstairs, but if you've seen my previous videos, interiors are something I rarely do, and if I do ever start them, they become abandoned. So I did do all the airfill commands for this, and obviously I decided against it because I was also going to have this come down the cliff, but I expanded it way out, so this was going to be kind of the base area. But this part was decided against in favor of increasing its size, and I definitely had to increase the size because this was what it was going to be. This was the original landscape. But that's all that work. It's practically for nothing at this point. One thing while I am down here, I did have a sideway, or not a sideway, a stairway that was over here I had a friend build or help me with, and so instead of just building over it entirely and deleting it, I kind of incorporated it into this underground portion. So if I ever find time, I might try to figure out what to do with this and add some pillars to make it look like it's holding up the unrealistically heavy upper portion that is all marble and whatnot. These stairs would come right up here to this side portion. Go back inside. We'll go right underneath to figure out where this actual entrance is. Maybe not. Okay, well, go back up. And I was also going to do kind of an upper balcony, again incorporating all of the stuff that I had built prior without deleting it entirely, so that way at least I wouldn't have lost so much time. But that way, still view that art. I think it turned out well for this. And still work in progress. Was probably going to do some stairs that would lead up to the top there, but that didn't happen. And the other side's pretty much a mirror, so there's not really much showing that. But I will show from above, going out that way. And also, while it's nighttime, might as well quickly show the exterior. Gonna go slow here, show this. Alright, so now that it's nighttime, you can see how well this is lit up. Now obviously if I did more landscaping, I'd probably figure out some more lighting for those areas there. But then on this side, instead of having that underground portion as shown before, there's kind of a pavilion area here. Some tables, some landscape, and these would be facing out towards the castle wall that will someday, maybe years down the line, be surrounding that biome over in that direction. That is a lawn project that will not be done anytime soon, especially since I frequently go to other projects. It's kind of showing it at night. Do one quick go around again, and then should be it for this. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention is that these diagonal eagles were also just another thing that was a bit difficult to do, but I think turned out well, especially for them trying to be confined with the swastikas. And also, so those two buildings will be done in a separate video with what's over there, but there was going to be a bridge that was here. However, I'm probably just going to turn this into a little park viewing area, because I don't think a bridge would do well. It'd ruin the view of those buildings there. And then over here, this was going to go to its own separate area. And one last thing is the parade grounds. So this here is kind of like a memorial to all the fallen soldiers. So that's kind of what this is here. Have some candles. And here you'd have tiger tanks, and I do have the interiors of these fairly furnished. As best as I could with the confined space. Got your ammo racks, have some storage, and then your commander's cupola here. And then behind them, these are still, obviously I haven't copied this over, but this is the upgraded design I did for the Oboe Blitzes, or one of them. So obviously with the glow frames, kind of makes it look like it has its blackout lights on. So I really like that. Obviously I have to bring the copies over. But that is pretty much it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.